What up, YouTube? Web Mike here, and I'd like to talk about how, when adapting from a book to a show, House of the Dragon really outperforms Rings of Prime. And you see this tremendously because usually whenever you look for the inspiration for a work, you try to find, you want to make sure you're getting as close to an original and unique source as possible. Now, in J.R.R. Tolkien's mythology, he was drawing a lot of experience from his own life into making this. And while George R. R. Martin is not nearly as good of an author, in my opinion, whenever he's doing his work, he's basing it off of the Anarchy with House of the Dragon or the War of the Roses with Game of Thrones. And that's actually how it should be. So he's taking this bit of history, making slight little edits to it, making it just fictional enough, and then it just comes to life on screen. Now, one concern I had going into it was that one of the pitfalls that Game of Thrones, the show, had was after it got past season 5, they were out of direct dialogue to adapt because George R. R. Martin decided to go ahead. Well, I shouldn't say decided, but I don't know if he got too distracted or had a writer's block, but suddenly no new Game of Thrones books were coming out. So the creators of the show had nothing to go with other than direct author notes. And I had a similar concern going into House of the Dragon because, again, it's a history book, triple filtered through unreliable narrators. So again, I was worried, like, oh, well, how are you going to do this? But amazingly, they pull off excellent work. It's almost as if they realized what went wrong with Game of Thrones and realized, hey, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should make sure we take our time and make this good. And so good, everyone who watches it will enjoy it and want to see the next bit. Rings of Prime, on the other hand, isn't directly adapting J.R.R. Tolkien's mythology. It is looking, well, they don't even have the rights to it. They have the appendices to the works. So, for instance, they can't say Hobbit. That's why they keep saying Harfoot instead of Hobbit, even though hobbits should not be in the Second Age of Lord of the Rings. Middle-earth should not have hobbits where we are right now, but they keep just trying to call them Harfoots and saying they're just some distant ancestor. No. They are a breed of hobbits, just like the Hallowhides or anything else running around out there. No, the Fallowhides. Yeah, the Fallowhides. But yeah, so you look at this work and it's just not trying to be itself. They're taking these appendices, which are like author notes or footnotes, and then they're trying to mold that into their product that they're putting out on Amazon Prime. And it's really sad because supposedly there's close to $1 billion sunk into it. And it just doesn't translate into good entertainment, especially when you can compare it to House of the Dragon, which just came out. And you have to wonder, what were they thinking? Because I hear over on Nerdrotic, and hopefully more to come on that soon. I'll be checking for his videos. By the way, subscribe to him if you haven't. He's really awesome. Really cool dude. Apparently with Amazon Prime, Rings of Power, it didn't start out with what we got right now. Apparently there were a lot of people like Tom Shippey working on the project, trying to make sure it was going to be true to Tolkien, still engaging and expansive and immersive in the world of Middle-earth. But then at some point, but at some point, like maybe two years ago, maybe something changed, some leadership changed, and suddenly Tom Shippey out. George R. R. Tolkien was ghosted also by Amazon Studios. Now, he wasn't tapped to write anything, but the creators, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, Disciples of Bad Reboot, by the way, they offered to send scripts to him to edit or treat them. No response, though. I imagine it had to be shame. Shame of what he might say. Shame of how he might desecrate their carefully planned story. But we'll never know now, will we? What we do know is a lot of self-inserts begin to happen. And, well, I shouldn't say a lot. There's at least one. And if you look at Morfydd Clark's Galadriel, she looks very similar to Jennifer Sulke. And again, so whenever you're adapting from a source, I understand when it comes to transitioning it from one screen to another, or one medium to another, it's not going to be 100%. We all can appreciate that, so long as you can get the essence of what was. And the way you make sure that doesn't happen is, like with Peter Jackson doing the Lord of the Rings movies, you don't put any of your agenda into it. You let it be it. It's not a hard concept, but hey, if ego's getting in the way, and if the message and agenda is getting in there too, it's really hard to adhere to that. Especially if you try to put some year zero stuff where you say, oh, well, we're going to make the series Tolkien never wrote. Like, you can improve on Tolkien? I'm sorry, the man's life is richer than anything you will ever have in your pampered existence. But that's all I have to say on that. Thank you for enjoying this through this time. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. WebMike, out.